this is a moment to celebrate taking a vision we had many years ago when we acquired this site next to our existing housing and be marking putting it into action. This is a promise kept to the community of what we wanted to do here for this site, for the neighbors, for our residents, and we're excited to celebrate this today with you. To kick things off, I would like to welcome our board chair, Maureen Skowron. Maureen is our board chair. She's a longtime member of our board. Rebecca Robinson is also here. We're very thankful to our board that they've supported our vision to transform our housing, our aging public housing, and their commitment and their support and guidance in doing so. So to welcome you all, Maureen.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm glad to help welcome you to the groundbreaking for Casitas del Camino, which will bring affordable homes to 88 families. At Casitas del Camino, we're both building new housing and renovating existing homes. As we expand housing capacity, it's important to also preserve what we have. It's both cost-effective in the short term and an investment in the neighborhood for the long term. Casitas del Camino will be a mix of homes from 2 to 4 bedrooms. It will serve residents with incomes as low as 30% of area median income. Those are families who are often priced out of the regular housing market. The project will also include areas for gathering and play, spaces that help turn housing into community. And in this neighborhood, we'll connect residents to transit, jobs, and services nearby. At the Albuquerque Housing Authority, we're very proud of this project, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our Executive Director, Linda Bridge. Linda's leadership helps make projects like this possible. This project also couldn't advance without our many partners, our colleagues at the city and the county, Housing New Mexico, HUD, HB Construction, and others. Projects like this take coordination, persistence, and a shared commitment. At AHA, our mission is not just to provide housing, but to support stability and self-sufficiency. Casitas del Camino is another step forward on that path. Thank you again for being here and for the role each of you plays in expanding affordable housing in Albuquerque.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you for your leadership as chair of our board. Next, I'd like to introduce Talia Walker with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is our 8th public housing preservation project in 5 years. Our first one broke ground 5 years ago this time. Yeah. And this is only made possible through HUD's Rental Assistance Demonstration Program that allows us to preserve that project-based subsidy while improving livability for our residents. Talia is the Deputy Regional Administrator. Sorry, gotta grab my other notes here. She's currently serving as Acting Deputy Regional Administrator for Region 7 at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. In this role, she advises senior leadership on regional strategy, policy implementation, and operational excellence, helping guide critical housing and community development efforts across multiple states. We'd like to welcome Talia and ask her to say a few words.
Thank you. Don't touch any buttons. Good morning. My name is Talia Walker. I am serving for Region 6, which covers New Mexico, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. At HUD, our mission is simple and essential, right? It's to foster communities, stronger communities, access to affordable quality housing. Housing is more than shelter, and we have to be clear on that. It is the foundation for stability. It is the foundation for health and employment and long-term opportunities. Increasing housing supply, especially in growing communities, remains one of the most important steps that we can take to improve affordability and expand access. Today's groundbreaking for Casitas del Camino reflects exactly the kind of progress we want to see. This development will help expand the supply of affordable housing in Albuquerque and provide new opportunities for individuals and families who need safe, stable houses and places to live. Projects like this are successful because of strong partnerships between federal, state, and local government, between housing authorities and developers, and between community organizations and residents that they serve. Casitas del Camino represents more than new housing units. It represents stability, it represents dignity, and it represents the opportunity for residents who will call this community their home. Developments like this also demonstrate how thoughtful planning and coordinated investment can help meet growing housing demand while strengthening communities. In closing, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be here. Today marks the beginning of something important, not just a construction project, but a future community. HUD and our Region 6 team, we stand ready to continue partnering with you all to expand housing opportunities and strengthen communities across Albuquerque and beyond. Thank you again for the opportunity.
I also want to recognize from HUD Julian and Michael. We work very, very closely with our field office. We're constantly in contact with them, asking for best practices and guidance, and wouldn't be here without your support and guidance as well. Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome and introduce Commissioner of District 1, Barbara Baca. We are very happy to have partnered again with Bernalillo County on the tax-exempt bonds that were issued that provided the funding for this project. See Marcos here as well. It's great working with them and their team, and hopefully this is just one more of many more to come that we can work with them. A native New Mexican who has worked in government and public service for years, Barbara Baca understands the importance of public-private sector collaboration. She is a graduate from West Mesa High School, very nearby, and the University of New Mexico, and went on to earn a master's degree from the University of Colorado at Boulder. We welcome Commissioner Baca and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Linda. Really, really appreciate that. This is my home. I went to John Adams Middle School and West Mesa High School, so welcome, and I'm so excited for this housing project to be moving forward. It's been incredible to work with our partners, and I'd really like to thank the Albuquerque Housing Authority, City of Albuquerque, our Economic Development Department with Bernalillo County. During my time as County Commissioner, I have really placed housing as a top priority. We all know we have a housing crisis, and this is an example of something that, we are bringing something to fruition here to help with that issue. There are many circumstances standing in the way of those needing housing: affordability, low inventory, and high rent. So on affordability, over 43% of tenants struggle to pay their rent. On low inventory, there's a limited supply of homes and available, meaning that we have to keep up with demand, and that's what we're working on. We need more housing stock, and our collaboration is what we do together to make that happen. And then on high rent, there are just fewer places to rent, leaving limited options for renters. Well, that's not here. These will be 100% affordable at Casitas del Camino. And I'm really excited about the playground they will be here where we're standing now, the refurbishment of these existing facilities and the new facility, as well as the community building, because this really does create a new community surrounded by our old part of the West Mesa, and I thank you all for inviting me here, and you can count on Bernalillo County to continue this good work.
Next, I'd like to invite up Lisa Huval. She is here representing the governor's office. We're very fortunate to have ongoing support from Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham in our multiple redevelopment projects, and the state provided capital outlay for this project as well. Lisa is the Housing Initiatives Manager with the Department of Workforce Solutions, their Office of Housing. Lisa has led policy, programmatic, and funding initiatives related to affordable housing and homelessness for 20 years. That seems impossible, Lisa. We haven't been working together that long, really. Both in the nonprofit and government sectors. Lisa's helped build and strengthen all parts of the housing spectrum in New Mexico, from creating permanent supportive housing for people experiencing homelessness, to funding affordable rental housing developments, to building mixed income for sale residential communities. And with that, I'd like to welcome Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today on behalf of the governor and also Secretary Nair with Department of Workforce Solutions to celebrate the groundbreaking of Casitas del Camino. I was reflecting on the fact as I was preparing for this event that we're so focused on increasing the supply of affordable housing here in Albuquerque, which of course is very important. But if we're really going to meet the affordable housing needs in our community, we also need to preserve the existing housing that we have. And I think this is such an amazing project in that it both preserves existing housing, helps improve it, make it better for the families who will be living there, while also creating new units as well. And it does so by also offering, some really nice community amenities like a playground and a design that's really in character with the surrounding neighborhood. So I think this is just such a cool project. I know from my own experience that both preserving and creating new housing units is such difficult and complex work. It takes working together in really very deliberate and focused way. It takes a lot of trust among a lot of different partners. So I want to recognize Albuquerque Housing Authority and Linda, her leadership in making this project happen, as well as the leadership and commitment of the many other partners that have been involved in this project. We just need to continue to work together to invest in projects like this to create more safe and affordable homes for New Mexican families. So in closing, congratulations again, and very excited to come out for the grand opening in a year or two. Hopefully soon.
Thank you, Lisa. Next, I want to share with you more about the vision for this site and what went into the design and planning for it. And with that, I'd like to ask Dave Hickman, our architect on this project. He's with Jeeves and Zuzu. Him and Edgar, have to recognize Edgar as well, been in the trenches with us on this, and would like Dave to share a little bit about what you're going to see happen here on this site.
So, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell a story. I think it's pretty appropriate maybe to tell this story. I've been thinking about this, about what Linda asked me to talk about, and I do want to talk about a story. But so I'm Dave. Good to meet you all. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. I don't know why, but every one of us have kind of this strong need to really affect the lives of other people's around us. I've worked all my career in affordable housing. My sister is, she sets policy for developmental education across the country. She's pretty amazing. My other sister has a nonprofit that takes care of disadvantaged kids and giving them birthdays for orphans. My other brother runs a animal shelter, and he's also an artist. And then my youngest brother is he's an emergency medicine doctor. They're all amazing, and I just work. But I have this fond memory of being in Santa Fe. All of us kids are all over the country. If we're not 500-600 miles away from each other, we don't feel comfortable. And my brother Jim who's an artist, was together in one Christmas. We were walking the plaza in Santa Fe. And as we were walking around the plaza, we came into a gallery, and there was an opening in the gallery. And on the wall, there was these art pieces that were 2x4s and pieces of wood that were glued together, stapled together, painted in different colors. And then there were light fixtures, or the lights that were shining onto these wood pieces, and they were compelling. It was good art. My brother and I, everybody else left because we're the artists and we're hanging out, and we're talking about the negative space, and we're talking about how the lighting affects this, and how really profound many of the shapes were that were developed by the lighting of this pieces of wood that were stapled together. As we were talking, this woman came up to us and she said, "Wow, you guys are seeing a lot in this art." And I said, "Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to see." And she says, "Well, when I was making it, I was just gluing stuff together that looked pretty." So from a year from now, when we come back, I hope that you can come and we can talk about what this materializes, and know that, yes, we were thinking about negative space and how, what is a cube and a volume and pushing things in and out. And my hope is that you can just say, this is really pretty. And this is a good place to live. Because for us, that's really the most important thing. And we're excited. I think this will be a lot. It's going to be great for the existing homes. It's going to be great for the community. It's going to be great for this neighborhood. We're excited. We're grateful for the Housing Authority to be able to participate with them in their endeavors. And so thank you very much. And we're excited to see how this goes.
Thank you, Dave. And the team that's going to make this vision into something we can look at in a year or so and say, that's pretty, is our partner, first time partnering with HB Construction. We're very excited to work with them. It's been great working with their whole team. Especially have to recognize real quick Kaylin Johnson, who helped put this event together. She's, everything you see here, thank you, Kaylin. And I'd like to introduce Ryan O'Hay to speak on behalf of HB Construction. He's the project executive of HB Construction, where he provides project delivery leadership for multifamily teams. He brings more than a decade of construction experience and has successfully delivered projects for clients including Titan Development and Soul Housing. He is an active industry leader, having served as a board member of the New Mexico Coalition Construction Alliance and as chairman of the Build My Future event. And we're happy to introduce and welcome Ryan.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by thanking the Albuquerque Housing Authority for allowing us to be a part of this vital project for our community and for their continued efforts to address the critical housing shortage. I'd also like to recognize the many distinguished stakeholders and partners here today, including the various dignitaries and all those who have helped bring this vision to life. At HB Construction, we take great pride in our culture and ensuring everything we do aligns with our mission, which is we exist to create opportunities for people, families, and communities to thrive. It is especially meaningful to be a part of a project like Casitas del Camino, which directly reflects that mission. As we all know, our community here in Albuquerque continues to face a growing gap between available housing and the number of individuals and families in need of a place to call home. Projects like this are essential because affordable housing is key to giving individuals the chance to have a safe place to live and the community to increase viability. I truly love what I do, and I know my team at HB Construction shares that same passion. When we can work on projects that are shaping communities for the better, that passion only grows stronger. Growing up in Albuquerque gave me a deep sense of pride in this community, but it wasn't until I recently moved back that I fully realized that incredible opportunities that exist here in Albuquerque today. This project is a perfect example of New Mexican culture at its best. We are resourceful, thoughtful, and intentional about maximizing our impact and value to the community with what we have to work with, something clearly demonstrated through the rehabilitation of the existing structures at this site. At the same time, we embrace innovation and growth. The new construction here has been carefully and strategically designed to complement the space we stand in. In addition to the new construction with units, new clubhouse and outdoor amenities, including new playgrounds and basketball court, will help build safe and inclusive community. The combination of restoring the old with creating something new brings fresh opportunities to the community and truly embodies the spirit of Casitas del Camino. That said, the challenges we face in construction continue to grow. Rising costs, ongoing labor shortages, and increasing regulatory requirements all demand that we constantly adapt, developing new methods, strategies, and tools. Our team at HB Construction, and those specifically on this project, are dedicated to working with and through the challenges that come up daily. We are excited to have the opportunity to have the YDI Youth Build partnership be a part of this project, where we'll be able to help introduce what we do in our community and our industry to local young adults. Partnerships like this are critical to helping grow the labor shortages while supporting the youth in our community. Plus, we are not facing all these challenges alone. Strong partnerships make all the difference. Working along Albuquerque Housing Authority, Jeeves and Zuzu, North Star, and our outstanding trade partners make navigating these challenges not only manageable, but rewarding. This opportunity represents more than just buildings, it represents opportunity. Opportunity for families to have stability, for individuals to have a place to call home, and for a community to continue to grow and thrive. At HB Construction, we are proud to play a role in bringing that opportunity to life. We don't take that responsibility lightly, and we are grateful to stand alongside so many dedicated partners who share that same commitment. I want to thank everyone here today for your support, your vision, your continued investment in our community. Projects like Casitas del Camino only happen when people come together with a shared purpose. We are excited to keep working, and even more excited to see the lasting impact this project will have for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. It was a long time to get to this point, and we're happy to hand it off to you now, and we know it's in good hands, so thank you. Next, we want to recognize valued partners of ours, the City of Albuquerque. We have partnered with the City of Albuquerque on many, many projects. They provide capital funding for our public housing sites. We have partnered on grant applications and planning initiatives, and they provided much needed gap funding on this project. I'm happy to introduce Mayor Tim Keller to speak with us next. Born and raised in Albuquerque, Mayor Keller brings focus and passion to making Albuquerque a more safe, innovative, and inclusive city. His leadership is centered around the One Albuquerque Unity vision, a clarion call honoring the city's diverse heritage and championing the residents from all walks of life. In his historic third term as mayor of Albuquerque, since founding in 1706, he deeply believes in the power we all have to lift up our city despite our challenges. With that, I, with honor, welcome you, Mayor Keller, and ask you to speak.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much, Linda, and most importantly to everyone who has made this happen. And I think in many ways, if I look physically at this project, but also at what's behind it, this is part and parcel for the next generation of Albuquerque. We all over town, it's not just housing, it's even public spaces, are reinvesting in ourselves. We're turning old iconic parks like Phil Chacon and Wells Park into new awesome parks. And we're turning old housing projects into new, bigger, awesome housing projects. And it's part of the work that we've needed to do for a long time. It's an acknowledgement that this is a special place, but it's in need of a whole lot of refresh and reinvestment. And especially in the housing area. You know, I was thinking about the last 2 weeks, just the last 2 weeks. We've opened about 80 units of senior housing up on East Central. We opened a youth gateway shelter. This is for teens who are looking for housing. And then here, as we think about families that are looking for housing, part of what we have to do is deal with the housing shortage in this town. And it's roughly about 20,000 units. Wonderfully, over the last 3 or 4 years, with the county and the state and everyone in between, we've actually taken a huge chunk out of that. About 5,000 new units added on top of that. So now our deficit is only like 15,000. But when you break it down, we need housing of all types. That's why I shared the story about the need for senior housing and the need for unhoused housing for youth. But the hardest one, I think by far, because frankly it's the most expensive, is family housing. And that's what this represents. This is one of the toughest nuts to crack for us when it comes to affordability and filling a gap in our community that the market has a challenge filling right now. And so this project truly is special. And to be able to double the number of units literally means double the number of families that will have a place to call home. And it's with families, of course, about typically the children, right? These kids are going to grow up in a home instead of going from hotel to hotel, or instead of going from apartment to apartment on short-term leases. They're going to have a place that they come home to year after year as they go to school and as they do grow up and play sports and all of those things. They're going to come back, most of them statistically, to the same place. And that is a place that they will know for the rest of their lives as their home. That is a tremendous gift. And that's a gift that we want to give to as many people as we can in our city. But we're going to start, in this case, with these 88 units. And so thank you for all being a part of that gift for that next generation of Briqueños. With that, I'll hand it back to you. And God bless. Thank you for believing in Albuquerque.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to recognize Rick Perron. We've been working on this together for a long time. Thank you, Rick. And all of the city staff I see here today, we're very, like I said, we value the partnership with the city very much to address the housing needs and make livability good for our residents. Next up, as we continue to recognize our valued partners and funding partners, I'd like to recognize Housing New Mexico and invite up Izzy Hernandez. Izzy has been the Housing New Mexico Executive Director, Chief Executive Officer since 2020, and he's been with the organization since 1992. In addition to his work at Housing New Mexico, he served in the New Mexico Army National Guard for 32 years. Mr. Hernandez was raised in Dexter, New Mexico, has a bachelor's degree in finance and real estate and a master's in business administration. He's married to Melinda, and together they built a family of 6 children and 10 grandchildren. And having known Izzy for a long time, I think that's probably what he's most proud of.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in front of all of you and all the great partners that we have here. I won't give you a story like Dave did, because with my large family and grandkids, it'd be a long story. We are pleased to be here to celebrate with all of you and with you and your team, Linda. It's been mentioned several times, there's a great need for housing. Few stats that we recently received, there's a need for 58,000 units across the state. That includes both rental and single-family home ownership. And the cost burden right now for rental units is about 49% in New Mexico. As you can see from all the folks that have spoken up here and maybe a few that follow me, partnerships are very important. In the whole time I've been at Housing New Mexico, when we have these developments or these groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings, you never see just one person that funded or just one partner. It's always a combination of a minimum 2 and a lot of times 5, 6, or sometimes even as high as 10 or 11. So it's very important. So I want to congratulate all of you. Linda's mentioned that it's been a difficult time to get here, a challenging time, and congratulations for getting to this stage. We're very proud to call Albuquerque Housing Authority one of our 400 partners that we have across the state, that over the last 50 years have helped us deliver over 505,000 units across the state, and that varies from homelessness to home ownership, the full continuum of housing. Casitas del Camino, thanks to our board, the support of our board and the funding that we get from the legislature, we're able to fund some of the costs for here. We were able to allocate $2 million from HUD home funds. So thank you for HUD and the contributions that we get on an annual basis from them that allow us to do this. This also has some tax credit that is going to amount to about a little over $15 million in equity over the life of the tax credits. This funding is very important because we talked about affordability, and this funding that comes with this development here ensures that affordability is here for a long-term, 30-plus years. This is one of 53 projects that we have across the state in one phase of construction or another, about 5,000 units across 18 municipalities and 14 counties across the state, so it's really far-reaching across the full state. I want to take this opportunity to, and some of them are already standing, but I wanted to recognize our Housing New Mexico staff. We have Jeff and George, Jacobo, Keenan, and a few others here. If you guys don't mind standing, those of you that are sitting down. We take the opportunity of coming out to these celebrations because a lot of times you're just inside those walls that are building there doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes and don't see the eventual impact that it has on the community. So thank you guys for coming out. And I want to conclude by just thanking Linda and congratulating her and her team. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Izzy. Yes, Jeannie, George, Jacobo, all of you and your teams have been amazing to work with. Your flexibility has been essential to get us to this point. As many have mentioned, there's been many challenges, not just for us, but affordable housing development in general, to get to this point, to be able to start construction. And it's the commitment of these teams that really just help us get here, so thank you. I'm going to go a little out of order here. I'd like to invite up Allison Bell Porter. She's with BMO Bank, our construction lender. She has a flight to catch, and I think we all know the risks and challenges with that right now. So I'd like her to be able to get on her way. But she flew out here, so I wanted her to be able to say a few words. Allison.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
BMO Bank believes that affordable housing preservation is more about maintaining structures. It's more so about maintaining homes. At Casitas del Camino, this investment ensures that existing residents can stay rooted in their community, close to schools, jobs, and neighbors they know. By preserving these homes, we are choosing long-term impact over short-term solutions and affirming that a safe, affordable home is not a privilege, it's a necessity. So on behalf of BMO Bank, we thank you so much. We thank you for your partnership. It was long, it was hard, but it was worth it. And I cannot wait to come out and have more time to actually come to the grand opening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Your team has been great to work with, and we're glad to partner with you on this project. Next, I'd like to introduce one of our very important funding partners on this is the equity investor, the group that purchases the tax credits. They are our literal partner on this project. We're happy again to partner with the Richmond Group Affordable Housing Corporation. They were willing to take a chance on us 5 years ago when we did our first project, and they're still here with us today. I'd like to introduce Alok Lathy. He is Senior Vice President and part of Richmond Capital's Western Acquisition I've been talking too long. Acquisition team, along with Terry Gentry. Alok has been with Richmond for about 15 years and has helped place over $2 billion of tax credit equity across the western states and over $200 million in New Mexico. A little fun fact for you. Alok has deep roots in New Mexico, having grown up in Las Cruces. I don't know if you can do this or not, but he proudly calls himself both an Aggie and a Lobo. Up for debate.
I guess depending on which community I'm located in, right? You made a comment that we took a chance on you. There was no chance. No, Albuquerque Housing Authority is by far, well, I'll speak about it momentarily, but it was a great partnership that we started 5 years ago. Folks, I live in Seattle these days, and as Linda mentioned, it's great to be back in Albuquerque. I mean, I came in yesterday, and was flying over the sandias and all the memories of the weekend hikes of up the La Luz Trail, or spending time along the bosque and listening to mariachi music or a quartet, right? Or I'm sure all of us have experienced El Sopapilla, right, at El Modelos, hopefully. If not, you should come to try. As Linda mentioned, I'm with the Richmond Housing Corporation, and we're one of the largest and oldest tax credit syndicators in the country. We helped start the program actually back in '86. And on this project, we invested about $16 million from various investors, including BMO Harris, we just heard from Allison. So they invested a portion, American Express, Ally Bank, and a few other investors as well. You know, I've known Linda for about, I guess, 25 years, in fact, right? So we first met at Housing New Mexico. And in my opinion, the agency is very lucky to have Linda. I mean, she has been a transformational figure at the agency. So, and working with your team has just been an absolute joy, right? Casitas del Camino, as we've heard, is not only renovating projects, but we're adding 46 new units. Well, this is probably the first new construction project the agency's done in a very long time. So no pressure, but now we're going to be continuing to chip away at that 5,000 unit deficit here, right? 15,000 unit deficit. So, you know, I think of the 6 projects that we've closed, Linda, this was clearly the most difficult over the 18-month period, right? I mean, there were, in my opinion, changes in HUD regulations. There were different interpretations of New Mexico prevailing wages. And thanks to your tenacity, your determination, you got it through. So thank you very much for having, and the board for having that stamina. This, as mentioned earlier, this community not only is going to be serving the current generation, but for future generations, right? In a community that we all love to live in, work in, and be part of. I also want to give thanks to some of our other financial partners. Again, BMO Harris, they were the construction lender. They provided about a $20 million construction loan. Citibank, they're providing an $8 million permanent loan. The Housing Authority of New Mexico, again, they contributed about $7.5 million. Thank you very much. Housing New Mexico, along with HUD, contributed $2 million. I also like to point out that this investment is not just adding 88 units. There's going to be generating about $30 million of economic activity with this development. In addition to that, there's going to be about 74 construction jobs, and we're expecting probably 50 new permanent jobs from resident spending alone. So to kind of Mayor Keller's comment earlier, this is just really a win-win for the entire community. So again, thank you very much for coming to celebrate with us today, and congratulations to the Albuquerque Housing Authority. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Alok, for the very kind words. But certainly, I'm the one that gets to stand here in front of you, but I could not do this without the hard work of my team. The Albuquerque Housing Authority staff work tirelessly to support our mission, which is to empower people through housing and self-sufficiency opportunities. These redevelopment projects have touched every inch of our agency, have impacted departments we didn't even realize as we went into this. It's been a big learning curve for all of us. We have many of our staff here today. I see some of our maintenance staff here, Josh, Ace, Eli. These guys worked tirelessly to take care of this property while it stayed vacant for a long time. our public housing staff. I see Jessica back there, who also worked tirelessly on this project when we had residents living here. Our finance staff, if you guys can raise your hands. I see Tabitha back there, Rocio, Vanessa, a number of you. They got thrown these projects. They worked to put the contracts in place, do the RFPs, take care of all the accounting. It's been a whole new, like I said, whole new learning for us in doing these. Our admin staff, Mundy, Brian, I see a number of you here that work behind the scenes. Our service coordination staff, John, a number of you, they help provide the service coordination for our residents. Our Section 8 and project-based voucher staff, they administer the project-based vouchers. As we've talked about, this housing stays affordable because of that project-based subsidy. That's that safety net that helps the residents in case they were to lose a job or something happens in their family. This remains affordable. They can remain in their housing. Our development staff, Valerie, Sean, yeah, you guys got us here. Dan Foster, our previous development director, he's no longer with the agency, but it was all of his hard work that got us here. So all of the HA staff, if you'll stand or raise your hands, please stand. Matt Archuleta back there runs our asset management department. They manage, Janice helps them. There's so many of you here that have an active role in this and all of our other redevelopment projects. And again, everything you said nice about me, Alok, it's all of these folks. So thanks to all of you. We also have to recognize, of course, the neighborhood. We want to be good neighbors. This is a promise kept to the community. And it's been tough the last few years, and we recognize that. And I understand Twyla McComb is here with West Central Community Development Group. Twyla, if you can, welcome. We're glad to have you here, and we want to continue this good partnership with the neighborhood. So thank you for being here. All right, as we conclude, we acknowledge that this specific site was once a location of a profound tragedy for the Denai people. By building these homes, we commit ourselves to ensuring that this ground is transformed from a place of violence into a foundation of safety, dignity, and rest for the community. We thank you all for being here, for celebrating with us, and at this time I'd like to welcome all our esteemed speakers to come join me for, we obviously already broke ground, but for the ceremonial groundbreaking. Thank you all very much and look forward to seeing you all at the ribbon cutting.